I guess whenever you're watching this video, hello. So today we are starting a new topic. Now it's not algebra, but lots of it will look very like algebra because we will be using y's and x's, and we will be substituting numbers in for x's and multiplying it out. But this topic is slightly different. It's called functions. Okay. Functions, functions. And if we look at this here, these two things, these are called function boxes, okay? These are function boxes. And today we're going to be practicing using these. And we're also going to do a little bit of practice writing functions. So that is a function. That is what a function looks like. Now, sometimes functions are written instead of like this here, they might be written like this. Or sometimes they're even written like this. But we will get into that in a later video. All we're going to do today is introduce function boxes and writing out functions from these boxes. And then on Wednesday, we will look more at functions and all the different nomenclature, which means all these fancy ways of writing them. Okay, we'll be looking at that on in Wednesday's class. Now, let me just get rid of some of these. So if you are looking at the function box on the left-hand side, okay? Oops, I didn't want to do that. I think it's better if I just do this. So if you're looking at the function box on the left-hand side, the top one, okay? Here we have x, okay? So here we have an x, and here we have a y, okay? Now, x stands for what we call the input, okay? A number we're going to put in. And then y stands for the output. All right? And the output is what we are going to get after we put the input into the function box. So we're putting the number, an input, in here. It's going to go through the function box, and then we will get the output. All right? So for example, I might say the input is going to be 3. So the first part of the function box says multiply 2 by 3. Sorry. And I'm just going to drag that down. Sorry about this. So I'm going to say the input is 3. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 2 by 3. So 2 is going to be multiplied by 3. And then I'm going to add 4 to it. Okay? So 2 by 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So my input was 3, my output was 10. So we write 3 and 10. Now, if I choose a different number, say my input is 4, okay? So it's going to be multiplied by 2, first of all, and then I'm going to add 4. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So our output would be 12. So 4 would give me 12. So these are the inputs, and they could be any number. These are the inputs, and then we get the outputs. And when we put them together, just like here, if 3 was the input, 10 would be the output. And if 4 was the input, 12 would be the output. And here we put them together. Up here we have them together. These are called couples. C-O-U-P-L-E-S. Couples, because there's 2 of them. All right? Now, this is a function box because it has the boxes and it has the rules inside of it. And the rule is y, which is this bit here, our output is equal to 2 times x plus 4. Now, x is our input. All right. So y, that's our that is our output. Now here all they've done is they've put the output first and they've put the rule second. Now the rule is just what's in the boxes. 2 times x, well, x just stands for whatever the number is, whatever the input is. So 2 times x means multiply by 2, just like I did up here. And then plus 4, that's the rule. That's the rule that's in the boxes. And here, if I put x in here and I multiply by 8, so I multiply x by 8 and I subtract 7, I will get y. So 8x minus 7 equals y. And you can see up here, that is the rule. The only difference is they've put the y first. And that's the same, it's the same if the y comes first and then the equal sign, or if the 8x minus 7 comes first and then the equal sign. So that's just an introduction. Let's do a few sums and try these out. All right, so let's look at question 1 first of all. Here we're not using any letters. We are only putting numbers in and then following the function box and then giving the output. So all of these here are inputs and we will get outputs here. Outputs. And then in this question here, these are the inputs and here will be the outputs. So I'll do the first one now, but if you want to just go ahead and do these, you can. Just pause the video and go ahead. So I'm going to do the first one. 3 multiply by 2 subtract 4. So 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Subtract 4 is 2. So 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Subtract 4 is 2. 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. Minus 4 subtract 4 is 10. So pause the video now and have a go at the rest, and then unpause it and I'm going to go through it. Okay, another one here. 8 multiplied by 2 is 16. Subtract 4 is 12. And then over here on the right hand side, 2 add 4 multiply by 2. So let's write that up here. 2 plus 4 multiplied by 2. So this is where you may have made a mistake if you tried to do this. You have to add the 2 and the 4 together and then multiply by 2. So 2 plus 4 is 6, multiplied by 2 is 12. And then here, 1 add 4 is 5. 1 add 4 is 5, multiplied by 2 is 10. And now 0 add 4 and multiply by 2 is, if you add something to 0, like if you have 0 and then plus 4, you're left with just plus 4, and then you multiply by 2 is 8. Okay? So if you have 0 and then you're just adding 4, you're just left with 4. Because 4 and 0 is 4. And then you multiply the 4 by the 2 to get 8. Now, we can write the couples for these now. All right, let me just change the color of the pen. So the couple for the first would be 3 and 2, because 3 is the input and 2 is the output. The second one there is 7 and 10. The third is 8 and 12. And then over here on the right hand side, the first one is 2 and 12. The second one is 1 and 10. And the third one is 0 and 8. Okay, so they're all the couples. Now we didn't have to do that. I just did that now. It's good to get in the habit of doing it. So now they want you to write rules for the functions, okay? So they want you to write rules for these 4 functions. I'm going to do the first one for you, and then I want you to try them yourself. Okay. So here we have x multiplied by 2 and add 4 gives you y. So the way I want you to write it is y is equal to x multiplied by 2 add 4. So x multiplied by 2 is 2x add 4 plus 4. That's the rule for this function box here, the first one. Okay? Now the next one, I want you to try and do this one, I want you to try and do number 2, 3, and 4. Now you don't have to write out all these boxes. Just write out the rules. And then unpause the video, or pause the video now, and then you can unpause it once you've written them out or had a go, and you can check your answers. Okay, number 2. So our rule will be y is equal to x multiplied by 8. So that's 8x, because 8x is 8 multiplied by x, or x multiplied by 8, either way. And then subtract 7, so minus 7. So that's our rule. The next one is x divided by 4, subtract 3. So y is equal to x divided by 4, take away 3. And that's it. That's all we have to do there. The next one is x add 3 multiply by 4. Okay, so y is equal to x plus 3 and then multiply by 4. This is where they try and trick you. We have to multiply everything by 4. And that's it. You just leave it like that. If you decided to say y is equal to 4x plus 12, that's cool. All right, you've advanced it. But I'm happy if you just got to here for the moment. Okay, now, the next one is the same type of sum again, except instead of writing your answer as y equals, I want you to write your answer as x, and then an arrow like that, and then you give your rule. And the rule is this bit here. This is the rule, okay? These are all the rules. They're the rules. So now instead of writing y equals, you're going to write x and an arrow. So have a go at those questions. Pause the video now and then unpause it when you've had a go. Okay, so let's go through these. So for the first one, we are writing x arrow. Now, x multiplied by 3, add 2. So x multiplied by 3 is 3x, add 2, plus 2. That should be your answer for question 1. Question 2 is we write again x arrow, because that's what the question wants us to do. Instead of writing y equals, the question wants us to write x arrow. Now, x multiplied by 5, subtract 2. X multiplied by 5, 5x, subtract 2, take away 2, minus 2, whatever you want to call it. And that's our answer. Now, we have to write out the x and arrow first. Now, x divided by 3, add 2. So x divided by 3, adding 2. And that's it. That's all we have to do there. Now, x arrow, that's what they want. X add 2, multiply by 7. So x plus 2, because x add 2, and then multiply by 7. Multiply everything by 7. So that would be x arrow, 7 multiplied by x, 7x. 7 multiplied by 2, 14. All right, so they are our answers. They are our rules. The only difference between this and the previous sum is they wanted you to write x and an arrow, because sometimes functions are written like that. But we'll get into that more in the next video. There's no need to learn all the different ways that functions are written yet. You'll pick it up as you go along. The first thing you need to get used to is doing rules like this. and just practicing writing these out like this. And also, you need to learn today, I hope that you've learned what an input is, what an output is, and what a couple is. They're the key things. Now I'm going to give you a little bit extra homework, which is this. You have to figure out what's the missing rule here. What's the missing rule here? What is the input here? And what is the input here? So for example, 3 multiplied by 2, and then something happens to give you 5. Over here, 0 multiplied by 3, and something happens to give you 1. And then over here, something multiplied by 2, and then you add 1, gives you 11. Something multiplied by 3, and then take away 1, gives you 11. All right, so you just have to figure out what the missing numbers are in the bottom 2 and what the missing rule is in the top 2. And after you've done that, just take a photo of your work and send it to me, please. And give me a shout if you're stuck. Remember, this is a new topic with new words, new terms. It'll take a while to get used to, but I'm happy today if you learnt what an input was, what an output was, and what a couple is. That's the main thing.